so the Bethany Hamilton thing is a side story right here, right? Where you wrote this story, which was it's International Women's Day during the event. And so they put out this kind of silly concept, to be perfectly honest. Not silly, it's a performative concept that all of the men are going to wear professional women's surfer's name on the back of their jersey. Cool, whatever. Fine, performative, but fine. At least one surfer specifically, but Peter King commented on my Instagram that there were 6 surfers actually who elected to wear Bethany Hamilton's name on the back of their jersey. The WSL would not allow it because, quote, Bethany does not share the WSL stance on equality, end quote. So their stance on equality is everybody is welcome other than those who don't agree with us, essentially, because Bethany Hamilton published an Instagram that didn't agree with the WSL's trans policy. She didn't even say she didn't agree with it, by the way. She said, you should have these conversations. Did you ask these things to the surfers? Did you ask what the athletes thought? No, you did not. So you should, and this should be a conversation. WSL never engaged Bethany Hamilton in a conversation. They never engaged in the conversation publicly. Instead, they just told their athletes, you're not allowed to put Bethany's name now on your jersey. So here's the problem that I have with this. I'm not taking a stance on Bethany. I'm not taking a stance on the trans policy. The problem that I have with this is it's a terrible business decision. Firstly, Bethany Hamilton could potentially be your greatest ally. She is the most visible female surfer on the planet, full stop, more so than Carissa Moore or any of them, any of the world champs.
Arguably most visible surfer, full stop. I mean, I would imagine more people know Bethany Hamilton's name around the world than know Kelly Slater's name.
How many of the surfers on tour have had movies, Hollywood movies made about them? Yeah. You know what I mean? So that is definitely an arguable point. So rather than trying to quietly cancel her and ignoring her because she disagrees with you, engage her leverage that to have a conversation, to elevate your awareness, the awareness of the WSL, to elevate the point that you're trying to make, to have some actual growth and conclusion to the conversation rather than just having division amongst the parties. Like, take any approach that would be elevate. You could use this to leverage your own good, basically, to leverage your own brand, right? But that's not done. So what this does further, and the second problem that I have with it is, the athletes who wanted to wear that now very clearly know that they're on a very different side than their employer ideologically. And that kind of puts a target on their back. They now know, hey, this person that I wanted to honor spoke up and got canceled, and I aligned with that person. So I'm now apprehensive to bite the hand that feeds me, you know? And there's not a lot of hands that feed in surfing. And so it kind of puts them into a corner that they got to shut up. They just have to shut up and play the part. So much so that you wrote an article about it and you can't even say who that surfer's name is.
No, I mean,
I'm talking about it now on the podcast and I don't want to say who that surfer's name is.
No,
because I don't want to out them, because
you get that surfer in trouble.
Potentially get that surfer in trouble. This feels, not only does it feel authoritarian, it's bad for business. You know what I mean? Like,
and it's like, to me, it's one thing for, again, you said it's one thing for the World Surf League to have the policy they do, right? That's one thing. For the World Surf League, though, to then have like a political, basically, because this whole idea has been politicized, right? So have a political position on thing, and yeah, exactly, enforce your surfers. Like, because they could have had the policy and then maintain neutrality, you know, from a business standpoint. This is our policy, but you believe what you want to believe, and we will whatever, right? Like, but for them to even make it an issue, I don't like, and I suppose they would argue, hey, we're doing Bethany a favor. Bethany asked not to be included, so we're not including her, right? She doesn't want to be associated with the brand, so we're doing, this is for her, right? Which is all complete and utter bullocks. It's totally yeah, it's them being angry. I mean, it's what they did to Joel Tudor too, right? Like
100%.
This taking your athletes and disagreeing with their position, and so then making it personal is, it's ludicrous. It is
totally ludicrous.
And to your point, exactly. If, I mean, Bethany Hamilton, her coming out and voicing her opinion about the trans rule change for the WSL, or what was adopted, was huge news, right? It's the kind of the news that the World Surf League, as an organization who's attempting to get eyeballs, should want, right? And there's a way to spin that where you can look good, where it's not culture worry. It is, hey, we're listening. There's all those stupid words they could say, right? We're trying to be an ally, and we're listening, and we're having conversations, and we're learning, and we're growing, da, 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 da. Like, and they could have put Hamilton's jerseys or Hamilton's name on whoever wanted them, and it would have been another storyline of, oh, well, look at the World Surf League, and blah, 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 blah. But nope, it's head in the sand. Please go away.